Well, I was extremely pleased with the performance. I thought the first half performance was magnificent. I thought we controlled the game. We took the ball away from Arsenal. If there's any criticism, is when you play that well, you need to reflect it in the scoreline, and probably that's our next step. I think second half, Arsenal put us under massive pressure in the first 10-15 minutes, as you would expect playing at home, but it was a little bit not the normal approach, a little bit more direct, and that opened the game. We had our chances, they had their chances. Then when they score, and I felt that we were growing into the game again, we showed incredible character, because it's all too good. Play well. Sometimes you need to cope with the emotional part of the game, and it would have been easy to feel sorry about ourselves. But we never did that. We relied a little bit on the quality of a young man with incredible talent like Gerard Deulofeu, and I think that goal was the reward that we needed in the performance. But overall, I couldn't be happier with the week that we had. We went to Old Trafford, we played extremely well, and we won. I thought we came here and we played even better, and that for me pleases me, because it shows that we got rid of that mental block of going away from home into the sides that they're challenging for the title, and being able to be ourselves. So it's a massive step forward towards where we want to get.
Can we just ask you about Ross Barkley's performance as well? I mean, obviously a lot of England fans are excited by that kind of display. You've given him the freedom to play his natural game, haven't you? Was that hard to do with such a young player? Was that a big decision for you?
No, I remember when you deal with players, you don't deal with their age or how old they are or the experiences that they had. Ross is an incredible person. I think he's so mature, and he's got real love for the game. I'd never seen an English player with that sort of mentality. And I had the privilege to work with many youngsters that they've been very successful. Ross is quite unique in that department. I think we needed to find a role for him to be really specific off the ball, and then to be able to be himself and express himself. And I've got a great admiration for Ross. He's got incredible potential. I think we need to give him time, and we need to accept as a real English diamond of our football. He's not ready yet, and we need to accept that it's going to take time, but he's got absolutely everything to mark a real era in our football.
When you say he's not ready yet, do you mean we should be patient? I mean,
yeah.
The World Cup ahead, we're obviously going to be talking about him in World Cup.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously the manager of England, Roy Hodgson, needs to decide what role he needs Ross, if there's any. What we need to make sure is that we give Ross another 50 games or 50 starts at least to see his evolution. Remember that any player with talent needs to develop an understanding and a know-how to be effective, and I think that's what Ross needs. I think there are other youngsters in that pitch that I could say the same about, but I think as a country we need to be a little bit more protective of our youngsters, because we're talking about someone that if we look after him properly, it could give us something unique into the English game and the nation.
Is it helpful, Roberto, when Gary Lineker tweets that there's a bit of the Gaza about him, saying he's got the same ability to glide past opponents?
Well, I think it's an interesting topic. I've seen Ross Barkley. At times I see bits of Ballack. At times I see bits of Gaza. That's a bit. It's for us to make those comparisons. I can guarantee you that Ross Barkley is quite unique. It's Ross Barkley because he's got incredible balance with both feet, really strong, really powerful. He's developing an incredible awareness around him, which that was important. But technically, is someone that you could compare him against any other nation in terms of the young Brazilians or Dutch or even Spanish players. So he's got that gift and that talent. But I think it's always good when you get people that they love the game and they give their own opinion on how they see Ross Barkley. Is as long as we give him time and we respect him, that he's got development in front of him, he's fine.
You touched on Deulofeu before. I mean, just how good can he be? I mean, he just looks exceptional when he came on.
Yeah, I think you got certain players that they got that raw talent that they can create something out of nothing, or they got that special touch. He's got incredible pace. I think I've never seen a player that is quicker with the ball than he is and without the ball, and with the direction and the meaning that he has. He's come a long way. When he arrived in pre-season, I always felt that he would take until February, until he would get used to his role as a team player and the physicality of the league. But he surprised me, and he surprised everyone that he's ready now. He wants to help the team. He's very, very arrogant in the right way. He's got incredible belief on himself, and I think today's finish is exactly what he deserves. He had a great chance against Man United, and he was really disappointed about that. He had 2 great 1v1s against Liverpool, and he was disappointed. And he kept saying that he was going to score the winner today. So I'm just disappointed that he wasn't right on that one.
Roberto, I know this is obviously 6 months down the line, but is there any possible chance that we could keep Gerrard for maybe another season? Or?
Yes, it is. There is an opportunity. We got an agreement that it could be extended an extra year, as long as the parent club don't need the player. So that doesn't, at the moment, we're so focused on what we're trying to do and how we're trying to play, that the next 6 months are going to be essential for us as a football club. So I'm not looking any further than May. I think what's important is that we went to Man City earlier in the season and we couldn't be ourselves. We couldn't play the way that we wanted to play, and consequently we lost the game. And since then we went to Old Trafford this week and the Emirates, and it was a completely different performance. And for me that's an incredible sign.
How exciting is that for you then, to have 2 of the best emerging talents in European football, in Gerrard and Ross? It must be an exciting sort of.
It is, yeah, but remember that if you got 11 emerging talents, you don't win games, or if you got 11 all legs. I think what we got is a very exciting blend. You're looking at James McCarthy. For me, just at 23, is as good as a midfielder as I've seen in the Premier League, and at that age is accumulating more than 150 starts. You're looking at Ross Barkley, as you mentioned, Romelu Lukaku. You're looking at Gerard Deulofeu as a young, arrogant players. Then you got the other side: Sylvain Distin, Phil Jagielka, Tim Howard, Gareth Barry. I thought they were incredible soldiers, and people give you the direction. So that's a blend that excites me, and we got other players that they're working hard to try to improve and develop, and I'm excited about fulfilling the potential of this group of players.
Can you talk about what Barry gives you, and certainly what he gave you today?
Well, it gives you, when you're going to play against Arsenal, you're always exposed on the counter-attack, and you're exposed on that unpredictability, that once you are feeling on the ball, that you feel in control, all of a sudden you're in the back foot. And I think players like Gareth Barry controls those moments in the transition extremely well. He uses his experience. I thought he was always in the centre of our good possession. He's someone that uses the width of the pitch and our positional play. And I've never seen such a level-headed footballer. He never gets emotional in one way or another. For us to have a specialist in that position, I said it many times, I don't think we got a specialist in the English game in that position. That number 6, maybe Michael Carrick is the only one, alongside with Gerard Barry. Yeah, no, in general.
The whole game.
Yeah, we don't produce number 6. We produce box-to-box midfielders. If you go into any academy, we don't produce that sort of tactical footballer that he plays in front of the back 4, that he gives you good balance, that is good in the distribution of the play. You look at every team in the Premier League, we spend a huge amount of money to bring that player. Paulinho, Sandro in Spurs, Fernandinho at Man City, Lucas Leiva at Liverpool. The list goes on. We don't produce it, and I think Michael Carrick and Gareth Barry are the only 2. I'm only glad that Gareth Barry is an incredible, experienced footballer, but physically is in a very, very good moment.
Would you say that's what's lacking for England then?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we don't develop players well enough, and that's something that we all aware and we all accept it. I think managers in the Premier League, we need to take responsibility. We need to work with the Premier League and the FA, and we need to develop players that from 18 to 22 they get competitive football in the same manner. We don't create certain specific roles that other countries are fantastic. Number 10s, number 6. It's something that we need to develop, and it's great when you got one of your own that it can affect youngsters and you can use him to win games as well. Sorry?
One more go, please.
Is it unrealistic to expect Everton to finish in the top 4 this season?
Well, I always said to talk about league games in December is foolish. What we need to do is make sure that we accumulate as many points as we can in April, and then you sit down, you look at the final third of the season and see where we can go. I always said that Everton, with the history and the tradition of being a club that we won 9 titles in the past, we should be looking to get in the Champions League. There's no excuses about lack of funds, or if we're not working in a budget like the other 6 clubs in the league. It's going to take time, we need to be creative, but long term Everton should be in the Champions League. Maybe this season will be too early, but it has to be an ultimate aim to try to fight for that.
Sorry, have you adjusted your targets over the last 2 games or not?
Sorry?
Have you started to think differently because of the last
No.
games?
No. I thought the last 2 games has given us a great step forward, because I did feel that we had a little bit of a mental block of being able to be ourselves when we go away into the stadiums of teams that are fighting to win the title. 21 years last time we won at Old Trafford. I don't even know last time that we won at Arsenal away. So it was important that this week, it was a week full of focus, full of knowing what we have to do and performing well, and we did that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.